guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am in a major nesting mood. I'm almost done with the nursery. I've been working on it like little by little. The first time I did anything was actually New Year's Eve, and today is actually Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. So Super Bowl Sunday. So Minnie's over here building the bassinet that's going to be in our room for his first few months of life, or I don't know how long he has to be there, but here he is. So he's building this bassinet that we got as a baby shower gift. Excuse the parts. I had already packed his hospital like bag, like the stuff that I was going to take for him for the hospital, but I'm like redoing it all over again because I went out and bought some preemie clothes, and then we had another baby shower. Oh, let me go where the light is. We had one baby shower in November. We just had another one last week, and we got a lot more stuff, so I'm just kind of like updating outfits and stuff. We had an appointment a few weeks ago, which I don't think I've talked about it at all on here, but when I was 31 weeks, how do I position this? Let me position this so I can talk, and then we'll move around. So when I was 31 weeks, I think I was 31, I went to like my regular checkup. There was actually like a midwife that was covering for my OB. She was like asking me how I was feeling and everything, and then she started measuring my belly. She asked me when was the last time that I had an ultrasound, and I had one in TJ because I did like the 5D ultrasound over there, but like with my actual like doctor provider. I hadn't had one since like the anatomy scan, which was at 18 weeks, which was a while because I was already 31. She like measured me with the little white measuring tape that they measure your belly with, and she said, okay, I'm just gonna order like an ultrasound to try to get a like more accurate description of baby's growth because he is measuring a little bit behind. And I was kind of like, at the moment I was like, okay, like I just didn't really think anything of it, because at the 28-week ultrasound that I did, that was the 5D ultrasound, which was in Mex. That one, like, he was fine. He was measuring fine. Everything was good. So I thought maybe just because my belly honestly didn't really grow a lot, like it's still pretty small. They basically did the same thing to Carla, like to her, but it was the opposite. They told her that her belly was really big, so the baby was measuring big, and then they did an ultrasound and he was fine. So then that's what I thought was gonna happen to me. Like I thought they were gonna be like, oh, never mind, you just have a small belly. Like old ladies like to say like, ay, tienes mucha caja, which I don't know what that means, but that's what everybody says. So I didn't really think anything of it. So when the time for the ultrasound actually came and they were checking everything, the ultrasound tech, he was like, oh, why did they send you? And I told him that at my last appointment, they told me that the baby was measuring small, because I didn't have the ultrasound until like 2 weeks after, because it was right between the holidays. So they told me that there was nothing available until like 2 weeks later from that day. And I told him they just wanted to check like for his growth to make sure everything that he's growing appropriately. And then he was kind of like, he is kind of small, and I was like small, like a small baby, or like he's like measuring small, like that's kind of like but obviously they don't really tell you anything. Like it's usually the doctors that tell you something. So I'm like, oh well, at my follow-up, like I'm sure they'll explain it. And then he started like, he was still talking to me, and he was like, oh, so I was the one that told you it was a boy, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like talking and asking me how I felt and everything, and like showing me like, oh, this is his foot, these are his cheeks, oh look, he has big old little cheeks, and blah blah blah. And then he started like looking for something. Like I noticed that his face kind of changed, and I was like, what's going on? And he was like, oh, I'm just looking for the fluid. Then he said, oh, okay, I found it. And then he like did some little thingy, he measured it or whatever. And then he said, when was your follow-up? And I was like, oh, it's next week. And he was like, okay, no, someone's gonna come talk to you right now. And that was when I was like, why? Like that was like the first moment where I was like, wait, is something like actually legitimately wrong? Because I feel like I was so nonchalant about it. Like I was like, everything's fine. And then when he said that someone was gonna come in, I was like, and the thing was, I was there by myself because Mooney was gonna go with me, but then I was like, dude, just go to work. Like I'm sure everything's fine. So I went to work. And then he was like, no, I'm just gonna go. And then I was like, dude, I'm already in here, like it's fine. So then when they told me that, I texted him, I was like, never mind, can you come? So he showed up, and then they had us talk to a doctor who was actually the husband of my OB. And he just kind of told us that the baby was measuring good, like his skeletal bones and everything were like where they needed to be, but his abdomen circumference, basically like his belly was measuring 2 weeks behind, but everything else was measuring right. So I was kind of like, so he's got a big head, like what? Like I just feel like in the moment I was like, What is happening? He said that usually that happens with babies that have a growth restriction, and a lot of the times it can be something genetic, like they could just be small babies, or a placental issue or an amniotic fluid issue. And he said my fluid was pretty low, but it wasn't like emergency low, I guess. And he said he wasn't too worried about the fluid in that moment, because he said, you know, if baby, like, because babies drink the fluid and then they pee it out, and then they drink it and then they pee it out. So he's like, he could have just barely drank it and hasn't like peed it out yet. So if he pees, then his fluid's gonna go up. But either way, I was like traumatized. So I started drinking so much water. So by my next appointment, it had actually like my fluid went up again. But basically, anyway, bottom line is that for the most part, everything looks good. He just is measuring smaller, and they haven't been able to say if it's like a placental issue. It doesn't look like it. The specialist that I have to go see now, he said that it doesn't look like it's a placental issue, but they can't just rule out that it's something genetic, that he's like a small baby just genetically, because it's my first baby, so they have nothing really to compare him to. And he was measuring basically in the 9th percentile, so it's not like super low. Basically anything below the 10th percentile, they start monitoring you. So now I have to go to NSTs, which are like non-stress tests, where basically they're just monitoring baby's heart rate and movement, and like seeing if I'm having contractions, I guess. So I'm doing that twice a week, and then I see the specialist once a week, and then I'm seeing my OB. So now I have all these appointments, and I'm like trying to make up all these hours at work. But thanks be to God, like everything looks good. He's just looks like he's small. The last time we did a growth scan, like he was measuring, or like the estimated fetal weight, I think it was like 5 pounds 1 ounce or something, which is pretty small. But I was only 34 weeks, so I don't know. Right now I'm 37 tomorrow, so on Tuesday I have another growth scan and like 2 other appointments, so we'll see how much baby has progressed. Yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. What's gonna happen, which they told me then, was, you know, if we see that there is like an issue, then and we determine that baby's gonna grow better outside than he is inside, then we'll go ahead and do like an early delivery. But the goal is to take baby to term, which would be 37 weeks, I believe is already considered term here in the US. But at my last appointment, actually, after I did like a couple NSTs and then a growth scan, the specialist, that's when he told me that it doesn't look like it's a placental issue and my fluid looks pretty good. So he said that we could take baby to 39 weeks. So I have my induction date already, which makes me now super nervous, because now I'm like, oh my God, there's so many things I need to do. But I'm like really excited. At first I was super scared. Like, I know right now I look like I'm whatever about it, but I was so scared. Like, I called my mom and I was crying. Like, I was like, I don't know what's wrong with the baby. He's small. I was just freaking out about it. But I feel like at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have faith. I'm gonna trust in God. Like, I know that at the end of the day, he sent us this baby and he has a plan for the baby. Whatever path he has for him, like, he is in control. I am not. All I can do is drink my water, take my prenatals, and there's really nothing I can do to help him grow, which is what the doctor explained to me. So really it's just all in God's hands, and everything looks good so far. So really it's just, he's just gonna be born a week early, which is not that much, because really we got diagnosed at 34 weeks. So it was like basically towards the end. Like, the whole time everything, he was always growing fine. He never measured smaller. Like, everything was just normal. And then it wasn't until the end that they suddenly were like, okay, like, we're gonna have to start treating you like you're high risk, which was, I feel like the term high risk, that was the scary part, because I was like, high risk of what? Like, what is like the thing that can happen? I feel like part of the reason too why I'm trying to just, obviously, you know, because we've been praying about it, and at the end of the day, like I said, God is in control. Like, there's really nothing we can do. But also my doctor, the doctor that talked to us right after the ultrasound, when they first told us that he had a growth restriction, like I said, he's my OB's husband. So he said, you know, like, my wife had the same exact thing. They didn't diagnose it until late in the 3rd trimester. They saw that her first baby was small, and he just ended up being genetically small. Like, the placental flow looked good, because they've been measuring everything, like basically making sure that the cord is flowing good, that his veins are like have like good blood flow, and like they've been checking his heart. Like, they've been checking like everything at all of our Doppler studies, I think that's what it's called. So everything like that looks good. So he basically told us, and then she reaffirmed it, like the next follow-up that I had with her. She was like, you know, like, I had the same thing. Like, I had all these tests, all these NSTs, and like, you know, it's good because they're keeping an eye on baby, just in case, you know, something were to, like, to indicate that baby's better out like growing out of the womb. And she's like, but in my case, like he was just a small baby. And then with my second, it was the same thing. It was also just like a small baby. Like some women just make small babies, but you know, like I said, like they have nothing to compare me to yet because this is my first baby. And as long as everything else looks good, then it doesn't look like it's like a placental issue, like something serious where it's like, okay, my placenta is just not working the way it needs to or the way baby needs it to. It's not that I'm like running out of liquid, because as soon as I started drinking more water, it was like my water just went up by a lot. Because I think the first ultrasound, I think like the fluid level was like 7.6, which I think after 5 it's like you immediately have to go get induced or have a C-section. Like it's really dangerous. So I was at 7.6, so that's why they were kind of like, okay, like it's low, but you know, it might just be that the baby hasn't like peed or something. So I started drinking so much more water, and my next ultrasound, it went up to 11.6. So it's not like there was something like causing a leak or like my water was like leaking or anything like that. So since everything looks good for the most part, then I'll just kind of update you guys. I have my next Doppler study and then growth scan on Tuesday, and then I have also like my regular OB appointment, and then I have an NST. So my last NST was Friday and everything looked good, so that was good. The other thing I was gonna mention is, like, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, like I downloaded all these pregnancy apps, and if you guys don't have a pregnancy app with like a community board, like, oh my gosh, you have to, because it has honestly been so comforting too. There's like a specific community board. The app that I use is like the what to expect one. There's a specific one for like babies with a growth restriction, and just reading everyone's like testimonies and like, oh, like everything's fine, ladies. Like, I don't know, like just kind of like reading other people's positive stories. Like I'm like, okay, like I just have to have faith and everything's gonna be fine. Yeah, and then also like that's where I got to like learn about other people going through inductions, which is like I get a lot of tips from that. I'm literally gonna be just walking, drinking my raspberry leaf tea, and jumping on the ball, even though my ball needs air because it's like all deflated. Eating dates, because I've heard that really helps with your like shorten your labor too. So I'm just gonna try those so that I can hopefully shorten labor. So I hope. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what, thug life, like at the end of the day, I just want baby to be here happy and healthy and crying, rosy cheeked with big cheeks, hopefully some rolls. I'm just kidding, especially if he's gonna be small, but I don't know, I just want him to be here already. I'm so excited to hold him. Like, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I feel like the nerves are really kicking in, but yeah. So anyway, so I'll update you guys on Tuesday. So today's Sunday, so I'll update you guys on Tuesday. And I'll just do this like one whole video. So yeah, okay. Okay, so I just got out of my appointment of the growth scan, and basically baby didn't really grow as much as they would have hoped, but his movements are still good and his heart still sounded good. So what the doctor recommended was for him to get induced today, because I'm already 37 weeks. So he said he's already term, so I have an appointment that I had already, like with my OB. Well, it's not my OB, it was like someone that was going to cover for her because she's out of town. But basically they're going to tell me, I'm guessing at that appointment, at what time I need to go to the hospital. And I'm literally freaking out because I was like, I thought I had 2 more weeks, and I went to work and I was like, I still have stuff I need to finish, and I haven't even packed anything from me or Emma. Thank God I have baby stuff packed already, but I don't have any like my stuff or Emma's stuff ready. So I need to do that right now. I need to shower. He said not to eat anything until my appointment at 2:55. But everyone was like, dude, eat, because then you're gonna be starving because you don't know how long it's gonna take. I called my mom, my mother-in-law, Carla, so they're aware. So I think they're probably gonna, I don't know what time they're gonna induce me, if today or tomorrow morning or what. And then they told me at work, they were like, we had your baby shower planned for tonight in the afternoon, because I had the day off because I had all these appointments, but I was gonna go, we were gonna have like a happy hour, and I guess they were gonna throw me like a little baby shower there. So they're like, we had it planned for today, and I was like, this kid just chose the craziest time. I don't know, I just feel safe knowing that it's better for him to be born now instead of, you know, staying there and not really growing the way he's supposed to, because the doctor said that usually babies with a growth restriction do better outside of the womb. And I just can't believe it. Like, I was telling Carla, I was like, I can't believe it, because I literally had a dream with him last night. I had a dream that I was holding him in my arms, like looking at him, and I was like, oh, like he's so cute. And then I remember I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait. But I didn't know it was gonna be today. Anyway, I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna pack our stuff. I have a couple of hours. How long do I have before my appointment? Okay, so it's 12:30. My appointment's at 2:55. So I have like 3.5 hours to do as much as I can. And then they said to take a nap. I might take a nap, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sleep because I'm so excited. Oh my god, his nursery is not done. Ah! I don't know. I'm just freaking out. But okay, I guess this is gonna end up being a birth vlog. So I haven't set up the car seat. Oh my gosh, my maternity pictures were on Sunday. Oh my gosh, I had those scheduled for Sunday. I need to message the girl. Oh my god, I have so much to do. Anyway, okay, bye. Okay, so it is 9 p.m. It's the same day. So basically we went to the other appointment that I had in the afternoon, which was honestly kind of pointless. Like they just kind of measured my belly again and then heard the heartbeat again, and then the doctor did the order. But it was already like 4 and the office closes at 5. So they were like, oh, you'll get a call on whether you should go in tonight, what time to go in. And like we never got the call. So then I'm guessing they're gonna call me tomorrow in the morning. But I was just kind of like, well, then what was the point of me going to the like other appointment? Like they should have just ordered it in the morning. I'm just nervous because they said that I had like low fluid, so I don't want to, I don't know, I'm kind of nervous about that. So I'm just gonna kind of watch baby's movement, and if I don't feel him move as much, then I'm just gonna go in and like go straight to labor and delivery, because I also don't want to risk it. So, but I'm sure if everything's fine, then they'll call me in the morning, and then they'll probably just tell me what time to go in tomorrow. So yeah, but I'll keep you guys updated. But it was so nice because they had planned today like a little mini baby shower at work. So they gave us like a bunch of stuff, which was so nice, like diapers, wipes. And then I guess since today they told us that he was weighing so small, like 5 pounds, 3 ounces, they got us like some preemie stuff too, which is perfect because we had like just basically nothing preemie except the little outfits I got at Didi's. And then they gave us this like vintage hat for the nursery, which was like perfect, and Minnie will not take it off. So we're charging the camera. Oh, he's moving. Okay. Woo! So then in the morning, anyway, I'm just gonna have some raspberry leaf tea right now. We're gonna drink lots of water to try to maybe up my fluid. Like I know last time when I was drinking a lot of water it went up. This time it was pretty low. I don't know why. Like I haven't been leaking, like I've been checking, but I don't know. Anyway, so we're gonna go in tomorrow, hopefully, most likely. If they don't call me, I'm honestly gonna call them, because part of me is like, dude, like don't be so like exagerada, but at the same time, like, well, this is kind of something serious, so I don't mind being annoying and exagerada. Dude, how crazy is it that this is gonna be gone? That bump. But this bump, I'm seriously gonna miss being pregnant so much. I feel like it wasn't long enough. 37 weeks is not long enough for me.
Valentina.
Look at this lady. Vale, Luna. Are you ready? Oh, we should give them a bath. Yeah, because it's so cold outside, dude. Good thing we have a couple more like time, like a bit more time to do stuff. I'd already kind of finished packing the hospital bag, but I went ahead and got some more stuff. So we got some preemie diapers for the gift card that we got today, just in case. But I'm gonna try to steal as much from the hospital as I can. So, like a good Mexican. Everyone's like, take everything. They give you so many things. Anyway, I will keep you guys posted. I don't know what the last thing that when was the last time that I recorded, but yesterday it just like, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings and then they did us like the little baby shower, and then we went home, and I just like was kind of uneasy because I know the doctor wanted us to go in yesterday afternoon and they still hadn't called us or anything. I figured they would call us until today, but it just didn't feel right, so we ended up going to like, I called labor and delivery and they were like, well, if you want to get checked out, like come in. I can't guarantee that we'll check your fluid, which was kind of what I wanted to check anyway, but I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for peace of mind, because if not, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. So we went, and then they just monitored baby's heart rate and like movement, and they told me I was actually having contractions, and I was like, what? I actually, like the whole time I thought that was the way it felt when he moved, and I was like, so I guess I was having contractions too. And then basically they discharged us. They were like, call your doctor's office tomorrow and see what happened like with the order for induction, and then they gave me like a paper like how to count contractions, or like how to measure them, or whatever, like how to keep track of them to see if you need to go to labor and delivery, since I was having some. And then this morning I called the office. They the girl that does the scheduling, or the lady that does them, she said that I'd been scheduled for Friday at 9:30 and today is Wednesday. And I was like, okay. Like, it just did. I was like, okay, something's really weird right now. Excuse this lighting. We're like driving to the hospital right now. But I was just kind of like, that doesn't feel right. And I was like, everyone kept telling me like, trust your instincts. And I was like, my instincts tell me this ain't right. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And I hung up and I was like, nah, you know what? I'm going to talk to the doctor, the one that told me that I needed to be rushed. Like, not rushed, but he was like, especially because in like the hospital's like little patient portal online, there was like an after hours visit summary. And on there, it was like, patient needs to be delivered ASAP. So then I was like, how are they gonna wait until Friday? That doesn't make any sense. So I called the office again and I was like, can I talk to the doctor, or can I talk to like his rep, or can I talk to a nurse, or like someone that can just kind of like explain this to me, because I'm seeing like these notes and then it just doesn't really match up with being like waiting until Friday night. So then the nurse was like, oh yeah, no, I see that. She's like, hold on, let me get some information and we'll give you a call back. And then, so she called back, and I guess the doctor had to call labor and delivery at the hospital, and he was like, no, like, this patient needs to be in just like now. She called me back and she was like, okay, so they're expecting you at the hospital now. And I was like, wait, now? Like, I meant like in a couple of hours. So Minnie took like a super quick shower. I just brushed my teeth. Good thing we were all packed from last night, just in case. So we've got everything back there. But yeah, so we're heading over now. And I need to call my mom and my mother-in-law. But yeah, but anyway, we'll keep you guys updated. So today's December, no, not December, what am I saying? Today is February 5th, so hopefully, yeah, they wanted to wait till February 7th. I was like, homie, they said yesterday. So today's the 5th, so hopefully he's born today. If not, tomorrow. I don't know, because I know inductions can take a long time, so we'll see. But if I was already having contractions, hopefully my body's a little ready. I don't know, we'll see, but we'll keep you guys posted. So how are you feeling, Minnie?
Good.
Are you really? Minnie swears like he's not nervous.
Poquito.
I'm nervous, but okay.